you guys the week 7 recap. Hey, we're moving pretty fast. We'll do our incentive check first, and then we'll see what's what. We'll get these interviews ready as well. So we will do the game of the week was Florida State and Notre Dame. No. Penn State, Florida State, Penn State. All right, so we'll check the incentive check. Was it Washington and Penn State? We'll check that. Let me check this incentive check. Oklahoma State. Okay. Tennessee. Ole Miss. We already got them down. They haven't played any, pretty much. It's been a lot of missed games. All right. All right, so we'll do the incentive check first. We'll do the game of the week first. So I want to say it was Washington and Penn State. Okay, cool. That's who it was. All right, so we got interviews. We didn't interview neither one of these guys, but as we can see, the final score was 42-28. First half, it was 20-7. Second half, Penn State just went on to finish them off 42-28. They also won in a turnover battle. Quarterback Jerron, 172. 436 was Washington. They outplayed their opponent. Just the 3 interceptions played a role into this game right here. Quinn Martin Jr. had 167, 4 TDs. Penn State definitely loves to run the football. Receivers played great for Washington. Same thing. Well, Penn State liked to run the ball. But Washington receiver Nick Sermon, he had 6 receptions, 136, and a TD. Penn State ability to create some turnovers on defense definitely played a role in their win in our game of the week. All right, then we had Florida State and Georgia Tech. Florida State won 52-7, complete dominance. Taking a look at the turnover battle, it was 0-6. Way too many turnovers for Georgia Tech. Wow, very surprised to see the stats for Florida State. Georgia Tech quarterback threw 6 interceptions, just not a way to get the job done. But this is where Florida State gets a lot of their work done. 210 for TD. I think he's in the Heisman race, if I'm not mistaken. Neither side really did too much after that. I just have to give credit to Florida State's defense. They had 4, 5, 6 interceptions on defense in their victory in that matchup. Duke beat Boston College 40-43. We went over that one. Texas A&M beat Missouri 52-16, trying to fight their way back into the playoffs if they can. Missouri was ranked 15, so that's a good win right there. Clemson beat Louisville 59-26. Ohio State Ohio State lost to Wisconsin 28-17. Computer upset right there. Notre Dame beat Cal 66-0. Miami and North Carolina, user. North Carolina won 35-27. Very surprised to see this one. Let's see. Very surprised to see this one. North Carolina won one possession. They won a turnover battle 1-4. Just way too many turnovers for Miami. Just hard to win games when you give your opponent opportunities. North Carolina receiver Joshua had 4 receptions, 159, 2 TDs, 4 interceptions right there for that defense for North Carolina in their way to victory, 35-27 against Miami. Moving on. USC beat Texas Tech 34-10. Oregon fell to Illinois 31-23. Georgia beat Mississippi State 73-7. Nebraska ran over UCLA 45-7. I did interview Nebraska after the game. Let's take a listen to hear what he had to say.
Hey, Stephen. I think the offense this year, it's a lot more varied than it has been in years past. I mentioned in the previous interview that we weren't going to be able to do those rollouts and bootlegs because Daniel Kalen just isn't as fast as Dylan Raiola. So we've changed up the scheme within the same playbook to be a lot different. And I think it's throwing people for a loop. We got 3 rushers that are on pace to get over 1,000 yards on the year. Jamarian Parker already has over 1,000. I believe Clyde Eddy's in the 900s and Freeman's in the 600s or 700s. And that's absolutely incredible. Kalen is getting the job done when we need to throw, but I mean, our offensive line is just dominating everybody. Even teams with good defensive lines and front sevens like UCLA, we ran for over 300 yards on them. So going to keep that going throughout the year. And on the other side of the ball, this is the best defense I've had. My edges are both great run stoppers, and so are the 2 big men in the middle, despite their overalls only being 80. Everyone's just getting off the blocks really fast. We've got 3 linebackers. They're all going to get drafted in the upcoming draft. So that's a big bonus. And I think this is the best secondary I've had, too. Just the best defense I've had by far. And if I'm only giving up 20 points a game, I'm very confident in my fact that I can outscore anybody in that rate. So that's been the biggest difference this year, I think. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah, Nebraska is number 1 on all across the board, 94 rated all across the board, but they put their ratings to work on the football field. Number 1 offensively, number 1, well, top 2 defensively, and they also number 1 in the conversions. So that's definitely something you love to see if you are Nebraska. Arguably the best Nebraska's team in history with what he's been able to do. Moving on, SMU beat Virginia 33-0. Michigan beat Purdue 59-3. TCU beat BYU 45-33. LSU user beat Florida 56-45. They also won in the turnover battle 0-2. 6 TDs, a lot of touchdowns. LSU had 5. Rushing wise on either side, so Chris Wheatley, Humphrey, he had 157. A lot of offense, man. 2 receivers over 100 yards from LSU's wide receivers. They also had 2 interceptions coming from their will linebacker. And they was able to get the job done in the victory against Florida. That's a big win right there for LSU. Keep their playoff hopes alive and to protect their second rank in the NNCFL. Moving on, Texas fell to Oklahoma. I was very, very surprised at what happened with Texas. I did speak out with him after the game to see how he felt about the team. This might be too low. We'll see what he said, but I think it's going to be too low. Yep, it's too low. I think he got something going on with it. I didn't notice it. So unfortunately, we can't hear him. But he lost this game 28-24. Unfortunately, he had some issues, technical issues. 1-2 turnover battle. 2 TDs, 2 interceptions coming from Oklahoma quarterback. Texas quarterback had 323, 1 TD. Oklahoma running back Caleb, senior running back, had over 100 yards rushing with 2 TDs. Wow, Texas had 2 receivers over 100 yards. This is great stuff right there. 2 junior receivers. Defensively, they also had 2 interceptions. Oklahoma had 1 sophomore. So that's great stuff right there, man. You would think Texas would have won that game, but they failed just a little bit short. Bama beat Arkansas 55-6. Colorado beat Kansas State 41-14. Moving on, taking a look at the college football top 25, we got Florida State, LSU, Georgia, Bama, Nebraska, USC, Michigan, SMU, Penn State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Clemson, UCLA, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Ohio State, Duke, um, Tulane, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Hawaii, North Carolina, West Virginia, and Arkansas. Taking a look at the players of the week. Christian Peterson, 8 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, 2 TDs. Jalen Carter, 27 carries for 111 rushing yards, 4 rushing TDs, 7 receptions, and 1 TD. Taking a look at the Heisman race right now. Sam Williams-Dixon stays the same. Quinn Gibson stays the same. Quinn Martin stays the same. Alfonso Wayne stays the same. Jamarian Parker moved up into the top 5 as far as Heisman race. We are on a bye week, so we don't have to play any games, which is great. Taking a look at the top classes right now, Nebraska owns the first rank right now. And they have signed Brian Dingle, 5-star DB. He's third in the position and number 1 in the state of Arizona. 6 foot, 187. I went over that kid, and he also added LaRon Christmas, right edge. And he also have a lot of 4 stars to go along with it. A lot of great talent coming in for Nebraska. LSU has also moved up into the second rank with 13 4 stars. Texas A&M moved up a little bit, 2 5 stars. Florida State, Penn State, and the list gets on interesting from there. We have to sign us some guys. I don't know what the hell going on, but I'm gonna check that during this bye week. We should have some time on our hands. Taking a look at the conference standings, and then we'll take a look at the games of the week, and we'll get up out of here. ACC, you got Florida State, SMU, and North Carolina. American, you got Tulane, UTSA, and Temple. Big 12, you got USC and Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma. Big 10, you got Nebraska, Michigan, and Penn State. CUSA, you got Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, Florida International. MAC, you got Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan. In the MWC, you got Hawaii, Fresno State, Pac-12, Oregon State, Washington. SEC, very interesting conference right here. You got LSU, Georgia, Bama, all 3 teams right here battling it out. A lot of these teams down here is on a thin line between getting in, but there's some big games coming up. Sunbelt, you got Troy, UL Monroe, and Louisiana. Taking a look at the games of the week. Tulane, Oklahoma. I'm going to take Oklahoma in this one. South Carolina, Tennessee. I'm going to take South Carolina. Texas and Arkansas. I'm going to take Texas, although they did fail short to Oklahoma. UCLA, I'm going to go with UCLA to defeat Iowa in our Week 8 games of